welcome back to One Crack News. Oh, what a. Let's get to it. One of the questions we had before was about somebody's like fake friends and shady friends and all that stuff. Like, yo, man, I got a fake friend and this. But how many people really actually know how to be a friend? Do you know? Do you even know what that means? Do you know what it details? I said, wow, there are a lot of people in the world that don't know how to be a friend. I never would have thought it. It's true. There's a lot of people in the world that has no clue on what being a friend really is. So this is why you always have to clarify people as either their associates or, I don't know how you might view them or judge them or put them into your life, but some point you should designate a place for them and how they fit according to your life. For instance, what do you know mostly about your friend? This is why they always tell you your best friend should be your wife, because you're going to be around that person for the rest of your life. So they better be your best friend, because you got to be with them no matter what. You're bonded through marriage, so that need to be your best friend. Now, when you start thinking about best friend, right? And you start saying to yourself, what's truly a best friend? What's true? It's not always about what the friend does for you. It's often what you do as a friend that counts. A friend is someone that got your back, no matter what. That don't mean they have to do everything you say do, but they got your back. No matter what. The chips are down, chips are up, it don't matter. They don't change. Now, friendship is like a seesaw. You know? It's like this, a seesaw. The energy you put in, you should get the same energy back, going back and forth. Right? And when y'all both are parallel, there's a balance. Right? It should never be like this. One friend is doing everything and the other friend is just taking. So it's just giving and taking, giving and taking, giving and taking. You're making it hard for the other friend at the bottom to climb up there because you just created an incline. Now that person has got to do a lot to go all the way up here to meet you. That person got to go all the way up here to meet you now because you're not going down there to meet them. So all you're doing is taking from the other friend. That means you are not the friend. The person down there, he's being a good friend, him or her, but the person at the top isn't being a good friend. They're just taking. Normally that happens when everything is on your terms. When you're dealing with a friend on just your terms, then you're not really a friend at all. You're just a taker. A selfish taker. Notice they only want to be a friend of you when it's convenient for them to be a friend of you, to do something that they want to do. Only when it's they doing something they would want to do. Then they're not really your friend. Just like when you were kids. Like this one kid. We only hung out with him because he had an Atari or a Nintendo system. So of course we wanted to hang out with him. But when we couldn't play Nintendo with him and saying, oh well he can come outside and hang out with the rest of us. I was like, well then it's no what's the fun in that? Let's go play Nintendo. So they was like, they're not your real friends. They're only your friends because you got the Nintendo. Those are not your real friends. Now that was kids and all the Ataris and Nintendo systems and stuff you go through as a kid, but all of these things and factors come back around when you're even an adult. It's the same principles. It's just the things have changed. Right. A friend would always say, hey, come to my house for a barbecue. You go to the friend's house for a barbecue, they throw the parties, it's always on their turn, and you bring stuff to the party and all these things. But if you throw something, they find a reason not to come. You're like, hey, we're throwing a barbecue over here. Come on, bring the wife and children and bring your mom and your dad and everybody can come over. And no, they find an excuse not to come. Then you start thinking, have they ever come? Then you start thinking, why not? Then you start thinking, are they really your friends? So all of these things go into contemplate. You got to contemplate all of these different things when you are talking about friendship. You add what you would bring to the table. Have you shown up? Have you been 10 toes down? Have you stood tall as a friend, no matter what it was, that I stand tall? Friendship is about sacrifice. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be doing stuff you didn't want to do, but hey, it's your friends. You might be something great come out of it. I hated to do that at first. If it wasn't something I liked to do, I wasn't going to do it. That was just it. It's still a drive to get me to do something, but if these are my friends, some people I trust, then I said, I'll give it a shot and see what's going on over here. But I'm like, I'm not gonna do zip lining or wing gliding and all that rock climbing. That's out. That's out from 21 Jump Street. Well, Dion, that might be in your case to say friends always want what you have. It all depends on what do you have. I have a few friends, they're pretty much associates that want what I have, but we're not really close. So it's not like I hang out with those people. Like there was a part in time in my life where they were around me a lot and for like about a year, but other than that, they're nowhere near me now. So it don't even make sense to even mention them almost. Right. I mean, when you have something and you're successful, let's say celebrities, they mostly don't even view people as friends. If you didn't know them from before they had a dollar, it's hard to view them or view you as friend. They don't know you. So to them, you're often and always going to be viewed as a stranger or somebody who's wanting something and they just got to figure out what your angle is or what your end game is. Yeah. Well, people, you got to look at things and take them, like they say, take some of the stuff with a grain of salt. That's what it's best to do sometimes. Take things with a grain of salt. Like, this isn't going to be your average, everyday type of scenario. This is a different type of experience. When you have friends, sometimes friends become family, so all those other things go out of the window because they mostly like family. They can come by, stay at your house, it's cool. I have friends like that. So I don't really have too many people that are friends that eventually don't become family. So there's a major difference there. Do I have friendships with people where the friendship is one way? Well, you gotta understand something. With me, it's like this. I've never been one who was like thirsty for friends. I got some people that are like people please. They want friends so bad. Like they just want to make a friend. Me, I'm too busy to even care or focus on anything like that. Like my mind state was never that. I've always had friends, but I was always the one who was in front. Like I was the leader. Anytime I did anything, I was basically the leader. No matter what. I could be just walking in the group. About 10 minutes later, they put me in charge. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but I was always the leader of something. So I was never in a position where I couldn't have a friend or nobody wanted to be my friend. And I didn't care if one person decided they didn't want to be my friend. I wouldn't bat an eye, I wouldn't care one iota. So making a transition from the city to the suburbs, city mentality is different from suburban mentality. So when I first came out here, things that they did in the suburbs that we took very seriously in the city is lines of disrespect. No matter how small it was, you have to stamp that fire out. Because if you just, even though it's a small flame, you got to stamp that out. Because if somebody else see that little bitty flame and like, you didn't put that little fire out, oh, well, that's cool to do then the disrespect will get worse. So if you don't stamp that fire out right away, it could be a problem, especially in the city. So in the suburbs, when you would get it, and I would be like, really? And I would react in a way that probably was like to them, they were like, wow, I can't believe you're making a big deal about that. That's so small. And I'm like, because where I'm from, it isn't so small. but they are not from there, so they just didn't understand it. So early on, that disconnect of them not knowing that these are rules or grounds for disrespect, no matter how small it is. That's a line of disrespect. It was like, oh man, I was just sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just I'd be like, oh man, dude, y'all just y'all wild out here. Now I realize they didn't mean anything by it. That's just how they are out here. It's just how they was raised, different environment, different, and so they didn't really mean anything by it. They didn't mean disrespect. But see, the younger me didn't understand. It had to be defenses were up. Like, oh, I don't trust none of you dudes, and da 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 da. So it was serious, going there. What's up, Jeff? So we often wanted to do that. And oh yeah, the super chat works, people. Yeah. A lot of people had different views on how we should have been looking at things. You ever get that? If I was you, I would have been looking at it like this. I would have been looking at it like that. Then I tell you, friendship should be a balance like this. The best friendships that last, they balanced. They know each other tit for tat. And they balance. They rise all the way up. They have that even keel, they have that even balance, and that has been the situation. Mm. Well, I look at the situation from different angles. I look at it from a whole different type of position. I see people that's out here doing things they shouldn't do. I see people out here living lives they shouldn't be living. But who's to say that? I'm not the police. I'm not their mama or father. So no, no, come on. You have to you gotta understand that there was a ton of people who had different type of energies in the world. When they put them out to the planet the same type of way. My instincts are entirely different. I move in a different way. Like for female friends, they need a little bit more attention than my male friends. They like to have conversations that go places. And this is how you learn to talk to women. That's why most men don't have female friends unless they trying to sleep with them. And it just didn't work out. And she felt bad for you and put you in a friend zone. But when you have female friends, the things that you can do and joke about and say with your male friends, you can't even really talk about. Well, you got to ask yourself this, right? Why would anybody, right? What is, like, why would anybody want to get involved in a situation they didn't know was going to be productive? There was a lot of pushback back in the day. It was a lot of pushback back in the day. What's the point of having female friends? You gain a lot of education. Females are more knowledgeable than we are. You know why? Females pay attention to a lot of different things that's happening in the world that men just don't pay attention to. They'll tell you about new laws. They could tell you the weather's coming on. They're gonna be at 3 o'clock. It's gonna start raining. I'll be like, it is? As 3 o'clock, doom. I'll be damn. She right. She right. So having female friends is more of a benefit. I know and I'm hip to certain information. So when I'm talking to women, I can bring it up in conversation. And some of the things that I've learned from having female friends. And plus, guys who don't have any female friends whatsoever, Yeah, guys who got no female friends, they come off as a little bit as pervish when they have conversation with women. They do. They just don't know how to talk to women. Everything seems like a scam. Well, when you look at it, you're starting to see. No, you start to see a whole different, like the whole forefront, everything laid out. No. Oh, oh my goodness. He said they let you out the loony bin rainbow. Rainbow. Yeah, like the saying goes. Like what they say, it is what it is. That's what the young people say. Oh, I did do a movie review. Well, I'm gonna do a movie review for I had to wait to do the review for the Equalizer 3. I was finna say the Exterminator 3. That's a whole nother franchise. Yeah, the Exterminator. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I've always been a great friend, I think. You know. I don't think there's too many people in the world that say I was a bad friend. But I am a strong believer of giving you what you put out. So give out subpar energy, you're gonna get a subpar friendship. I'm not finna overextend. See, before I used to overextend. And then I'm like, well, then that person is doing what I was just telling you. That person is take, while you give. And then nothing goes your way. Always their way, their terms, their everything. So you got to know when that happens, what you do is you pull back and say, hit the brakes. Say, nah, we ain't doing that show. Nah, party's over. It's trying to do something else. It comes out officially tomorrow everywhere, but I saw it already. So this is a lot more violent than I believe all three movies. I will tell you that. Jesus Christ. The violence. I was like, they didn't intensify the violence. Oh, I do got a new Steve Harvey video coming. I'll give y'all a clip of what it looks like. You'll see what this man means to Steve Harvey. So a lot of y'all probably like, who the hell is that guy? Look like Dr. Selby, cousin or something. Yeah. So that's in the Steve Harvey video that's coming. Oh, all y'all should be Patreon members already. Well, you start looking at big picture and you start saying to yourself what's really going on. I see the writings on the wall. Mm-mm. You got to start asking yourself the main question. Why do you need certain people in your life? Because you're going to realize that you don't need all those people in your life. Yeah, it's like some people you were affiliated with that you don't even talk to anymore. Like you had friends. You remember those friends that you just had that just disappeared and you just don't know why? Or you didn't remember? You like, man, I remember he was my friend in like fifth grade. And you're like, why he wasn't in sixth or seventh or eighth? What happened to him? That happens. That actually happens in the world, in the real world. They're your friends one minute, they're your number one G. Then they gone. Then I had a friend that was like, me and him was running buddies. He was my best friend to a degree. But it was more of a little brother type of thing. They were mostly like my little brothers, like Spank G. All of them was like little brothers. And I tried to get them some guidance to, say, hey, stay on the right path. Don't go left. Because everybody's going left. You ain't got to take that route. Well, if everybody's going to do that, why do you have to follow that trend? You don't. Well, a lot of people want to make what they call the literal adjustments to a major plot point development and all this stuff. There's so much craziness going on in the entertainment world, in the world, the way the world sees itself. But that's what they say: keep your friends close and your enemies right where you can see them and strike them and hit them where it hurts. I remember I never would sit there and say to anybody, oh, this is what we need to do. Where's everybody getting this from? We need to be doing that. We need to be doing this. The people should do. I ain't gonna tell people what they should be doing. I give them advice and say, like, you can get with this, you can get with that. That's my reality. I don't do the demands. Like when I say, hey, you should go check out my Patreon, because it's actually a benefit to you to be on the Patreon. There's a lot of stuff on there that's free. We just don't do gossip stuff. We give people real information. Well, people are often pinning themselves against other people thinking that their lives is so much important, no one else has anything else to worry about or deal with but just themselves. Oh, see, don't want to bet. Boom, boom, boom. Man, that got voided. Okay, I remember that bet. The White Sox beat the Orioles. Now you know I'm mad about that. White Sox want to F around and win the game. But I won my other bet. So the Cino is rolling. Rolling like Nolan. And best believe, girl, the car ain't stolen. The groupie troll has spoken. Let's see what's happening now. Well, anyway, get ready to go over to Screen Fiend. I'm finna do my movie review for the Equalizer 3. Screen Fiend. That's 2 words, ladies and gentlemen. So when I end this live, I'm finna go right over there and do my Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington movie review right this moment. All right? I'm out. Thanks for everybody who's showing support, love to the page. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life and the 2.0, Armando Black TV, Ticket TV, Welcome to HD TV, Misunderstood. I understand you, baby. I'm out.